Now, the Fees Must Fall movement is showing no signs of letting up as it dominated local content last week. And many people are also talking about our COO, former CEO, Hlaudi. Will he stay or will he be forced to go? It seems that the hashtag Data Must Fall movement was short-lived and they don't seem to care too much about CITES and ivory trade. Internationally, one woman is owning the digital space, Hillary Clinton. She dominated by over 60% across 100 countries. Now, to tell us more, we join in studio by the Managing Director of Roy Africa, Tonya Curry. Tonya, very good morning to you and welcome.
Thank you, Elvis. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. As always, now, fees dominating the space there. Let's take a look at some of those numbers. What is the main sentiment that you've picked up?
You know, Eben, last week it was the... Elvis is your name. Last week, Fees Must Fall was a good quarter of our conversation on social media. This week, it's almost half.
Yeah?
So it has grown, and not only grown, it's doubled over a 7-day period, making it a massive, massive movement, specifically on social media. In news media, a good 20% of our news reporting. But I think what you can see here, this is the social media chart, and you can see that it's all red. 44.14%, those statistics drawn yesterday morning. And followed by SAB and Hlaudi at 16.12%. Between those two stories combined, you get almost 70% of our social conversation over a 7-day period.
I tell you. And then Idols, I see, is also making a comeback there. 2016, 11.78%.
Yes, big, hey? Very, very big. We care a lot from a social media perspective. News media didn't even make 1%.
I tell you.
Yeah, so it does show that we have very, very different agendas sometimes between news media and social media, what we read and what we actually engage with. But yeah, between those three stories and Praveen Gordhan, we have a good full percentage of the chart. Everything else is sort of left in its wake.
Rest in Peace Mendoza also received a little bit there, 1.1. And of course, Heritage Day, people were crazy about Brian.
Yeah, a little bit more contentious this year. Yes, it definitely was. Yes, those stories were last week's stories. They're tailing off as we expected to be on the charts. So yeah, only small percentages. Interesting one is the nuclear deal.
Yes.
Coming in at less than 1% in social media, massive in news media, 10% of our news media charts. But we don't care sitting at home, and it often makes me wonder. We're calling for free universities and education, but we don't care about where this massive money is going to that could possibly aid that very cause. Yeah.
Let's look at South Africa's top news story, 7 days, and we see here, once again, it looks like the fees is taking the cream of the crop there, 18.52%. That's probably going to continue in this week to come as well.
I would imagine so. It shows absolutely no sign of letting up whatsoever. A good 20% of our news conversation over a 7-day period. Hlaudi less than 1% difference between the two there. So two very big stories. And yes, nuclear deal coming in right at the top. 9% there on our news media reports. Just shows the focus from one data set to another is very different.
But it also shows you when that the 8.93% from the nuclear dealers, when they announced that the tendering process will be pushed out a little bit. And
yes,
of course, there's some talk around that.
It also brought Eskom back onto the charts. We've got Eskom coming in at just under 3% there. So the two state-owned enterprises coming into the spotlight. Yeah, it's...
and then the Springboks finally also made
for a change, we're not commiserating. 6.24%. But that's in news media. Social media, we're done with sport. It's all about universities right now, and maybe idols. But as far as sports is concerned, we've moved on.
Yeah, and I see Malema is back in the spotlight as well on this particular chart here.
Yes.
Showing about 8.25%.
Yes, the political parties, all three of them up there on the charts. But Julius Malema never leaves our charts. I think particularly those three have been there since the electioneering and never left. So between them, you get a good 12% of our news media reporting.
So we agree that Fees Must Fall will be the trend for the next week.
I believe so, unless something else happens.
Yeah, Tonya, thank you so much for joining us
so
here in
welcome,
studio.
Albert.
That's Tonya Curry from Roy Africa, giving us the latest in the media trends, and you can also do so and let us know what's on your mind, of course, on the Twitter handle at SABC Newsroom, as well as on our Facebook page. A couple of questions around the Fees Must Fall. Currently, the MBs are happening in Kempton Park. We'd like to find out if you were sitting there, if I put you there in that hot seat, front seat, and you need to make a recommendation, what would that be? I'd like to know. can we solve this education crisis from you?